Welcome back to the channel, family. This is Each One Reach One. If you know me, you know what I'm here for. I'm praying and I'm hoping that I can teach and reach one with this lesson. Thank you for joining me today. I really appreciate your time. Hope everybody's doing well. If not, my prayers go up for you, and hopefully those blessings come down for you. All right. So let us give all praise, honor, and glory to the highest, our Abba Yahweh, and to our King Yahweh Shai, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, to whom all praise, honor, and glory is due, and none other. We are continuing prophecy and promise. We are digging through the Old Testament in order to get the prophecies that allow us to understand the promises made by the Most High God. We need to know, because the New Testament is all about the fulfillment of prophecy. The New Testament is all about the coming of Christ, which is the fulfillment of prophecy, and about what his life was intended for, what his death was intended for, what would happen in his return. All of that, those kind of questions are brought up in the New Testament, but they're answered in the Old. Many people have a misunderstanding about what's going on in the New Testament because they don't know the Old Testament. So we're here to try to help those people who ordinarily would not go through the scriptures for themselves and read the Old Testament. We're here to try to simplify, the learning experience, that journey towards the truth, and give people the easiest path towards enlightenment as possible. So for those people, I pray that you are edified by this. Before we get into this, pray for knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, that it might be delivered unto you. Before every lesson, that's what I do before I start. I don't always do it when I get on here to do the lesson, but I definitely do it before I begin, because I don't know everything. And many times, when I'm doing the videos, I'll get revelations and I'll be given the spiritual software update, so to speak, the spiritual download about something that was hidden from me before as I'm doing the study. So it's not just you who is benefiting from these lessons. So am I, because they are studies, not just lessons, they are studies for you and I. The more you read the scriptures, the more is given to you. The God doesn't give you everything at once. So you will need to read the same scriptures over and over and over again before you are given the full picture. That's how it works, and it will never cease to work that way. That's why you must study to show yourselves approved. All right. Now, with that said, let's get to it. Hosea chapter 7, Ephraim's iniquity. What happened with Ephraim? What happened with Israel that caused the house of Israel, not the house of Judah, the house of Israel, meaning the northern tribes, to become disconnected from God, cast out, and declared as Gentiles by God and by the house of Judah? This is where we're getting. When I would have healed Israel, then the iniquity of Ephraim was discovered, and the wickedness of Samaria, for they commit falsehood, and the thief cometh in, and the troop of robbers spoileth without. And they consider not in their hearts that I remember all their wickedness. Now their own doings have beset them about. They are before my face. They make the king glad with their wickedness, and the princes with their lies. They are all adulterers, as an oven heated by the baker, who ceaseth from raising after he hath kneaded the dough until it be leavened. In the day of our king, the princes have made him sick with bottles of wine. He stretched out his hand with scorners. For they have made ready their heart like an oven, whilst they lie in wait. Their baker sleepeth all the night. In the morning it burneth as a flaming fire. They are all hot as an oven, and have devoured their judges. All their kings are fallen. There is none among them that calleth unto me. And see, now, just so you're going to get a perfect illustration right now that this was not scripted by me, was the fact that I just completely made an error. And somebody was listening and saying, come on, Each One Reach One, man, you're messing up, bro. And I am messing up. And the whole time I started reading, I was like, wait a minute. It feels as if I just recently did this one already, and I did, man. I did Hosea chapter 7 already, and I'm going to keep this because I'm human. I don't want to make it seem like I'm not human. I'm infallible. I'm human, man. I make mistakes, and I'm pretty sure you guys can all relate to making a mistake. So we're going to get out of here, and we are going to go to chapter 8. All right, Israel reaps the whirlwind. Wow. All right, my bad, folks. My bad. That is my fault. I apologize for that. Hosea chapter 8. Set the trumpet to thy mouth. He shall come as an eagle against the house of the Lord, because they have transgressed my covenant and trespassed against my law. Israel shall cry unto me, my God, we know thee. But look, though, he says, set the trumpet to thy mouth. He shall come as an eagle against the house of the Lord. And because the prophecies in the word of God is cyclical, what goes around comes around, you got to see the correlation between things. America is a nation symbolized by the eagle. They put it on the back of the dollar and the money and so forth, but the eagle often represents America or European nations, right? And so he shall come as an eagle against the house of the Lord, because these European nations, America mainly, came against the house of the Lord, came against Israel, sought out his hidden ones, and took us captive. Why? Because we transgressed against his covenant and we trespassed against his law. Israel shall cry unto me, my God, we know thee. Israel has cast off the thing that is good. The enemy shall pursue him. Everywhere we were, they came looking for us. All of a sudden, they got guns and weapons and ammunition out of nowhere, it seems, right? From the fallen angels, from Satan and his demonic angels. That's where they got it from. They were endowed with the sword, with the weapon, right? With weapons of warfare that none of the other melanated nations ever knew, seen, or experienced. And with them, they were able to subdue the world, the earth, right? Israel casted off the thing that is good. We casted off our father. And so the enemy pursued us. As he said it would happen, it happened. And it happened multiple generations. It didn't just happen in one generation, it happened multiple times. They have set up kings, but not by me. They have made princes, and I knew it not. Of their silver and their gold have they made them idols, that they may be cut off. Thy calf, O Samaria, hath cast thee off. Mine anger is kindled against them. How long will it be before they attain to innocency? Now, he asked this question because why? Why do you think he asked this question? Why does he say, how long will it be before they attain to innocency? Well, he's saying this is because he's given us a peek into the fact that the time will come when they will attain to innocency. Contrary to popular Christian belief that Israel will be cast away and that the Gentile, heathen, Christian believers and converts will replace them. That's not what God says. He says that they're going to go for a time being cast off, and then there's going to be a time when they're going to attain unto innocency. Verse 6, for from Israel was it also, the workman made. The workman made it. Therefore it is not God, but the calf of Samaria shall be broken in pieces. For they have sown the wind, and they shall reap the whirlwind. It hath no stalk. The bud shall yield no meal. If so be it yield, the strangers shall swallow it up. Israel is swallowed up. Now shall they be among the Gentiles as a vessel wherein there is no pleasure. So you see, Israel is swallowed up. Now shall they be among the Gentiles as a vessel wherein is no pleasure. Now shall they be among the Gentiles, right? Remember, Israel was supposed to be a holy and set apart nation, set apart, pulled out of and away from the other nations. But because they had transgressed against him, he is now casting them out from his sight, casting them out from under his wing, from under his hedge of protection, from among his people. He's severing them away. And he's saying, okay, you envy the other nations. You wanted to go after their gods, which are no gods. Well, have at it. You go ahead and go after their gods. Go ahead, be among them. Become as they are. Be one of them. That's why it says, now they shall be among the Gentiles. The Northern Kingdom Israelites became Gentiles right along with the Gentiles of the other nations. The Most High God began to see them exactly the same way as he saw the other Gentiles. That he made no difference between the other Gentiles and the Gentile Israelites from this point going forward. For they are gone up to Assyria, a wild ass alone by himself. Ephraim hath hired lovers. Yea, though they have hired among the nations, now will I gather them, and they shall sorrow a little for the burden of the king of princes. Right? Yea, though they have hired among the nations, now will I gather them. See, he promises a gathering, because Ephraim hath made many altars to sin. Altars shall be unto him to sin. I'm going to give them over to do it. I'm going to allow them to have everything they need to destroy themselves. I'm going to give them over to their own will, to their own foolish desires. And I'm going to allow them to be ensnared in their own wicked hearts. I have written to him the great things of my law, but they were counted as a strange thing. They sacrifice flesh for the sacrifices of mine offerings and eat it. But the Lord accepted them not. Now will he remember their iniquity and visit their sins. They shall return to Egypt. They shall return to bondage. For Israel hath forgotten his maker and buildeth temples, and Judah hath multiplied fenced cities. You see how it continues to separate Judah and Israel? And when the New Testament time comes around and you see Christ comes, that separation is still in effect. He was of Judah. Judah were the people who he came to, grew up among, and who you see being spoken of and doing the speaking most often in the New Testament, right? For Israel hath forgotten his maker and buildeth temples, and Judah hath multiplied fenced cities. But I will send a fire upon the cities, and it shall devour the palaces thereof. So Judah was not exempt from getting punishment, but Judah was not cast off the way that Israel was. There was a difference in punishment for the two nations of Israel. All right. And so, again, there was a divide between Judah and Israel because the Most High God created a divide between Judah and Israel because he wanted to have nothing to do with Israel for a time. And since he wanted nothing to do with Israel for a time, he wanted Judah to have nothing to do with Israel for a time. So they were separated, right? Israel became Gentiles. And Judah was told to leave them alone. Have nothing to do with them. I don't want you having any dealings with them because they would cause you to go after their own errors. They're cut off from me and from you. They will receive no benefits of me. And so they can have no dealings with Judah because Judah is still receiving benefits of me. And if Israel and Judah are still having dealings with one another, then Israel would naturally benefit from God through Judah. That's why there was a problem for the Judites with the apostles and the disciples going among the Gentiles. While there was an issue with them going and mingling with their brethren, because even though they were our brethren, we were given commandment to leave them be. We were to treat them as a menstruous rag, to be cast off, right? treat it as a filthy thing. This is what you don't understand, so you can't understand the New Testament. But Lord willing, you will come to an understanding. The more you read, the more you should understand, if you are given the blessing of the Holy Spirit and the endowment of knowledge, wisdom, and understanding in some measure, because not all are given the same measure of understanding. But Lord willing, you will receive the full picture, one breadcrumb at a time. All praise, honor, and glory to the Most High God, Abba Yahweh, to our King Hamashiach, Yahweh Shai. Grace, peace, and many blessings to the saints, to the elect, to the remnant of Israel, and to the Gentiles that will come to believe on our power through our word. If you have received anything from this, if you have benefited in any way, as I always say, don't hoard it. Pay it forward. All right. Be a blessing to somebody else and receive a prophet's reward for sharing the good news. All right. Each one, do your job. Do your best to reach one, so that when Christ comes, you can hear those great words that every one who's a true follower of Christ desires to hear. Well done, my good and faithful servant. Shalom.